You guys hear that? Good night. I guess loud pipes save lives, but that's ridiculous. Good morning. Happy June 1st. We're like a couple of weeks away. What, June 21st, June 22nd? When's the beginning of summer? It's coming, guys. And I tell you, it is already feeling hot, sticky, yucky, darn near 80 degrees already, and it's 8 a.m. So, got a big day today. My guy called me last night. Oh my goodness gracious, this guy. I don't know what I want to do with him. Called me last night. He's about 25 miles away from my house, all the way out on Tybee Island. There's one way to get there and one way to get back. So he calls me up. I'm in the middle of editing my little short film yesterday. I watched a woman cry this weekend, and I'm in the middle of editing that and trying to get that up at a reasonable time so I can go to sleep. And I answer my phone and he's, "Hey, I got a problem." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. But what else is new?" And he says, "I got a flat." I'm like, "Well, how flat is it?" Right? If it's not all the way flat. So he says, "Oh, it's flat." I'm like, "Well, remember, it's only flat on the bottom. The top of your tire is probably fine." And he wasn't in the mood for humor. So, to make a long story short, he's way out there on the island delivering his little paper thingy that he does to all the little paper boxes. And I guess he ran over something in the road and it sliced the sidewall of his tire. So he's done in the water, done. And I'm like, "What are you calling me for? Like, there's nothing I can do for you. I don't have a tire to fit your truck. I mean, what am I going to do? It's late. There's no one open." I'm like, "Dude, you got to call an Uber or call a friend, call a taxi, take the bus, do something. But, I mean, you need to just leave your truck there, go back there in the morning, go buy yourself a used tire somewhere and get it put on." I'm like, "I don't know what to tell you." So, you know, he got a ride. He had a ride lined up, so it's not that. But I wouldn't go out there anyways, man. What the freaking hell? He ain't going all the way out there. He's got his entourage with him of people that he would normally carry around. You remember, you guys have seen videos in the past where I'd lose my mind with him showing up to work with people in his truck, sitting there all day. So, you know, he's got his entourage, and his truck's broke down, and he's all the way out there, and it's late at night, and I'm like, whatever. I don't know. But he had a ride, so it was all good. They weren't stranded overnight, so I would have gotten them if they were stranded. But so, needless to say, I told him, you know, "Look, you need to get your crap straightened out, and just, you know, fall in whenever you fall in. If you can work, you can work." He's like, "Yeah, I got to work. I need to make some money." I'm like, "Well, I mean, if you can work, you can work. But you need to go and get your truck squared away." So I am heading out alone. One day behind, heading out alone. That's okay. I don't care. We'll get it caught up. Not a big deal. So it's Wednesday. We got 30% chance of rain today, and I think 40% chance of rain tomorrow, and then Friday night my boy has his baseball banquet, so Saturday morning sometime I'll get my kids for the weekend, so I'll have them Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. And then long range plans are Monday. I got housekeepers coming, and I'm paying them a lot of money. I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of money, but it's so needed. But I'm gonna have my house cleaned, deep cleaned, top to bottom, ceiling fans down to tile grout, everything. I mean, they're doing the whole shebang, because it really needs to be done. And now that it's just me and my dogs, it's easy to keep up with it. So I'm having them come Monday. They're gonna do a really, really, really thorough cleaning. I had them over the other day to take a look, give me a price, and they're giving me a good price. They're giving me a discount. I know that they are, because I know their prices. So, but man, it's so important. I'm really looking forward to my house being clean. You know, you need that woman's touch. You know what I mean, guys. You know, it's easy for us to wipe things down with Clorox wipes, but I need that woman's touch to come in there with the right chemicals, you know, and really clean it up. So that's definitely a needed thing, and I'm looking forward to that being done. And then once that's all done, I'm going to go ahead and get the carpets either cleaned or replaced. I'm not sure yet, but that needs to be done too. And you know, life goes on. What's my new saying now? Life happens. So, you know, I keep telling everybody life happens. And there you go. I'm probably going to get shirts made up that say that. I don't know. Maybe that's already said. Maybe somebody already says that. Maybe I'll get a shirt that says life happens. Vlog it or something. I don't know. Vlogging's so darn popular now. So there you go. So that's what we got. That's the plans for today. I'm just going to work until I fall over and put a video up. So I'm going to get you guys some mowing clips, practice some more with some camera angles. We got this suction cup mount that I put on my zero turn. So I didn't even bring my push mower with me today because I do not need it this entire day. Everything that I do can be done with my zero turn. So I'm leaving my little mower at the house. There's just no reason for it. And now if my big mower breaks down, then we got problems, but whatever, I'll be all right. And maybe my guy will fall on me, maybe he won't. And then, you know, at the end of the day, what I hope to do, because I got my yard cut yesterday, what I hope to do at the end of the day is get my neighbors done, my neighbor and her neighbor done, get that knocked out. And then that just leaves pretty much a marathon day for tomorrow and a cleanup day for Friday. You know, try to get everything done and clean up for the weekend on Friday, and then I'll have a 3-day weekend. But I do have some work planned for Monday afternoon, so the cleaners will come on Monday morning, and then once they're there, I'll probably, you know, bring my kids back to their mom and run around, do things that I need to do, and then when they leave, I got some house wash jobs lined up. So I'm lining up some house wash jobs for the afternoon of that day to pay for these cleaners, if that makes any sense. That's my way of justifying it. And then, yeah, so that's the deal there. So today we got one neighborhood and a whole buttload of yards to do. And so I'm just going to go ahead and start knocking them out and get on with my day. And then I'll be back to check in with you guys periodically, do some videos, and give you guys some updates, let you know how my day is going. And if I haven't said thank you to you guys in a while, let me say thank you one more time for watching and supporting me. I really do appreciate it.
So I'm taking my lunch break. So I'm at my favorite place to get coffee, Murphy's, which I'm not getting a coffee. I got me something, some green stuff, Powerade, pretty good. And contacted my guy, hashtag Guy Probs. My guy is, he got a ride back to his truck. He took the tire off his truck and he brought it back to a shop in town. And he's trying to find a used tire in his size to put on his truck. And then he's going to head back. And he has an appointment late this afternoon. So, you know, I told him, hey man, there's work, you know, if you can get done and you want to meet me, just let me know and I'll let you know where I'm at and we'll figure it out from there. But if not, you know, whatever. It is what it is. So, geez, is that 3 cliches? If not, whatever. It is what it is. My goodness, I sound like one of them, I sound like a football coach or something on ESPN doing an interview after the game, you know. Like Bill Parcells. We're on to Detroit. We're on to New York. So I've got done not nearly enough, and I still have to do a whole hell of a lot. Today's a good day to do a little comparison video. We got the 2 weed eaters today. So we got the FS70, and we got the other freaking 100. What is it? I don't know. The big 4 mix. We'll talk about it later. I'll give you the numbers. I guess what we'll do is we'll just do a side-by-side comparison between the two. I'll give you my my pros and cons, I guess, of both as I go. I'll do a little work with both, let you watch and hear how they operate. If you guys are in the market for a new trimmer, maybe this will help you guys out. So let's see what we can do before these damn rain clouds get here. So, alright guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off right now with the FS70, okay? So the FS70 2-cycle Stihl line trimmer, weed whacker, weed eater, whatever you want to call it. That's what we're going to start working with right off the bat. And then we're going to go into the KM100R. That is, I'm sorry, the FS100RX. I was reading the edger. So that top one right there, the FS100RX, and that is the 4 mix weed eater. And so what I'm looking for is maneuverability. I'm looking for the angle of the weed eater head and how it feels in my hands going down to the grass level. You know, what has a more natural feel for me, and lightness overall with heaviness, of course, and general power and responsiveness. So we will we'll go ahead and throw this up on top of the oh, I don't know, man, it's awfully windy. Hopefully the wind's not screwing the mic up too bad. It's kind of windy, so I got to be careful with what I do with my camera here. Screw it, we'll put it up there, and let's go ahead and start weed eating with the FS70 first, and then we'll take it from there. So what did I feel? First of all, the FS70 is a very light machine. Very, very light, very nimble, and quite responsive. Hopefully, you guys will hear that in the throttle response that I was doing up there doing the weeds. Light, responsive. What I don't like about it is it feels like the shaft is short, and I don't like the angle of the head as it's going along the grass. I feel like I have to drop my right arm a little bit lower than what I'm comfortable doing to level out the weed eater head, and we're going to compare those two shafts and head angles here shortly. I'm going to try to beat this storm. So that's really my only fuss right now about the FS70 is the shaft feels short, and I'm not comfortable where I have to put my right arm. I'm not comfortable that low. I like to have a good grip. I did come across here with one hand, and it stayed pretty accurate for me. I've done better one-handed before with other machines, but that's not bad. Now, do I often weed eat one-handed? No. But I like to be able to take my hand off, shake my hand out, whatever, while I'm weed eating. And, or maybe grab my phone, do something, you know. Grab some, I don't know, whatever, hold something up while I'm still going. So that was okay, but all in all, I would rate that machine right now, because the shaft is a little bit short and because I've been using it and I know the fuel tank is small. I would give that thing probably about a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. That's about where I would be. Maybe like 3.5 to 4 stars out of 5. Let's just do it that way. About 3.5 to 4 stars. I think the shaft needs to be longer, and I think the angle of the head needs to be a little bit flatter. I just don't feel like it's grabbing what I need it to grab as it's cutting. It just doesn't feel like it's biting. I got to kind of manipulate it with my hands. But so now what we'll do is we'll go into the Stihl FS100 RX, which is the 4 mix. And let's try to get that one done on that yard over there before this storm gets here. It is a-coming. So let's get to work. video, we just finished using the FS100 RX, and for some reason my Sony Action Cam dumped the footage. So everything that I explained is lost. So we're going to redo it, and I just happen to be dressed up kind of nicer than what we were earlier, but that's okay. So here's the deal. You got to hear the throttle response. The throttle response on this thing is really, really, really poor. And the significance of throttle response is you gotta have your RPMs going at a certain speed to know where your whip is. Right? If you're going at a slow speed and you're like grinding weeds down around rock and mulch and plants, and if you're going at a really slow speed, then you know the whip isn't going to be all the way out, you know, the string. It's going to be curled in a little bit, and you're just kind of going around and you just kind of grind it down. Give it a little throttle response, and the whip comes out some more. You know, centrifugal force makes the whip go out more, and so it gets a little bit more distance. If you don't have good throttle response, and if it lags, then when you squeeze the throttle and you don't see that, you know, you're getting a weed, you squeeze it a little bit more, and then all of a sudden the RPMs comes up way too fast, and the string comes out and then hooks a rock and you know, slings a rock at you, or breaks a window, or you cut a plant, you know, you start beating on the wood of a plant, you know, the bark or whatever. So throttle response is really important. This has a shitty throttle response. It's terrible. And I actually just got this thing back from the shop on Friday. Because of the throttle response being so bad, I would never run an air cleaner. Well, I got it back, and they cleaned the carburetor, adjusted the valve lash, adjusted the mixture, and did everything that they said that they needed to do. And as you hear on the video, it sucks. So I know that I got to take this air cleaner back off and pull the air cleaner out. When the air cleaner's out, it doesn't work like that. It works better. The throttle response is about 80% better. It's not 100%. But it's about 80% better, which makes it effective, and I can use it. So it's just something to think about. So that's a bad thing about this machine. This machine's throttle response is terrible. And I don't know if it's just mine, or if it's the model or what, but with the air cleaner installed, it sucks. But you got to see some one-handed weed eating and stuff. This thing's really, really stable with one hand because of this. And the reason why I always one-hand weed eat, not always, but I mean I like to, is because you know, you're weed eating along, and you know, you don't want to take your hand off to take your glasses up or to wipe something off your face. You don't want to have to stop, and at the same time you don't want the weed eater head to be like all through the grass and freaking, you know, you want to be able to go, keep on moving. And so something about, you know, weed eaters, I rest my elbow right there. And I can hold this thing like this like all day long. So I can weed eat pretty much all day long like this. And the elbow and my wrist are together. And so that works out really good. With the FS70R, it's more on the side, but you can still do one-hand operation with both. The machine is balanced pretty well where the handle is. It wasn't crazy. It's heavy. That's a downer. But it's got power. So, you know, the power kind of overcomes the weight. You kind of get what you pay for with that, you know what I'm saying? And it holds a whole lot of gas. I do like 6 houses on a tank of gas. I do about 6 houses when I fill this baby up. I do about 3.5 to 4 when I fill the 70 up. So this holds more gas. It doesn't necessarily burn more gas, but it does hold more gas. So it's got some weight to it. But that's really it. That's the only problem I have with this machine. It's heavy, but you get used to it. Comparing it against the FS70R, it's way heavy. It feels way heavy. But I guess it's probably lighter than some of the Red Maxes that are out there. Those are pretty heavy machines, as you know. Now this thing has a lot of balls, has a lot of power behind it. You guys can hear that. And I really like the power. And when I'm rolling along about half to 3/4 throttle, it takes down everything. Takes it all down. And I use the 80,000s line, and it works really, really good together. So the positive that I like about this machine more than any other machine is the height, the length of the shaft, right? Look at this. Look at where this one is. I'm 5'8", and the length of the shaft is like 5'8", right here. I mean, that's phenomenal. The great thing about that is it puts the weed eater head at the right angle, perfect for me, where I can weed eat along, and it's right, that weed eater head is just a little bit forward, and I got it, you know? And it's locked under my arm, it's locked under my elbow like I like, and I got it. It's perfect. I really, really like it. When you compare that to this machine is like a good 4 inches shorter. Remember, the other one was right here to the top of my head, and this one's here to my forehead. So that makes a huge difference, because when you're weed eating along, it's shorter. So the angle of the head is different, and I have to find myself dropping this hand more to get the back of the weed eater head down some, to get the right angle. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but when I'm up here where I like to weed eat, I don't feel like I'm getting the back. I'm not blending properly. It feels like it's missing, the back of the head is missing the lawn, and it's not blending it right. So I have to drop it down a little bit, and I'm not real comfortable with that. The shaft is significantly shorter, and being 5'8" or taller, you would find a problem with that probably after using the 100RX that has a much longer shaft. So let me show you that again. I mean, that's a big difference. You think it's not. It really, that's a huge difference. When I go from this 100 and I go to this 70, it's night and day different for alignment. It really does make a huge difference. And then also, look at the angle of the weed eater heads. The 90 isn't as angled as the 70. That 70 is angled a lot, and the 90 is not. It doesn't have as much of an angle. I mean, this 70 is almost a 45-degree angle, and the 90 is probably like a 30, maybe a 35-degree angle. So I mean, it really seems like a huge difference. Maybe not. Maybe it's no. It's definitely different. It's got this one. This one has more angle in the dangle than this one does. So both machines are fantastic machines. Don't get me wrong. I like both machines. But I guess this is a comparison video. Okay, this isn't a, I am intending this to be a comparison video. So the ultimate question, if price was not an issue, because this 100 is about $80 more than this 70, if price was not an option or a problem, what would I choose? What would my first choice be to grab to go out and weed eat edge, grind down weeds, and do everything that I need to do? It would be the 100, and I'd pull the air cleaner out. I want to know why it's doing it. I want to know why I can't run the damn air cleaner in there, but it would be the 100. For the reach, for the power, I like it. It's balanced very well, and the motor fits right on my elbow, so I can weed eat along, and I can keep weed eating along. As you see me in videos, I weed eat one hand and do whatever I got to do to send a text message. I mean, I just keep on going with the 100. With the 70, it feels a little chintzy in my hands. It feels a little bit too light. It almost feels like a toy after using the 100. Now, it's a great machine, don't get me wrong. It's a great machine. And if that's probably all you've ever used was like a 50-something, and then you stepped up to a 70, you're probably in hog heaven and loving it. And I can totally agree and totally imagine that. But when you use this 100, and it's heavy as hell, when you get used to this 100 and you get used to this long reach, man, it really does make a huge difference. So my choice, comparing the two, I'd go with the 100. I'd give the 100 about 9 stars out of 10. I don't know that this machine could get any better, except for the throttle response, but that's because I think there's something wrong with the adjustment of the carburetor. I can't hold that against the machine. That's the individual item. But I just wish it was a little bit lighter. And if it was a little bit lighter, this baby would get 10 stars for me. And I'd give this FS70 about 7.5 to 8. It's just a little bit too short. It needs to be a little bit longer. If it was a little bit longer and as light as it is, this thing would be bad to the bone. It's just a little bit short. So, anyways, take it for what it's worth, guys. I hope that helps you guys out. If you're looking for a machine, a new machine, maybe a second machine, there you go. The joke of the day is brought to you by Cindy of Florida. Are you guys ready?
All right, here we go. What happens to a frog's car that breaks down? What happens to a frog's car that breaks down? It gets towed. You know that was a good one. You know it was. You know it was. Stop it. Stop it. That was good. Guys, until tomorrow, be good.